not be making anything with this ever again. It's worst yarns time again, and today I'm using whatever this yarn is. Definitely some kind of acrylic, and as always, I'm making something out of this yarn so that you don't have to. You can see it's got a bit of a sheen to it, but it's also quite fuzzy, and I have the sneaking suspicion that I'm going to absolutely hate it. It was from a mill-end bag, so I have zero idea, but if you recognise this, let me know. After consulting you all, I made the decision to create a blue ringed octopus, and I've decided to make it using the Kraken pattern from Drew's Magical Creatures crochet book. So let's go. I actually don't even know what size hook to use. I have to start off big because she's a bit of a chunky one. I feel like it's quite right that I'm using a Kraken pattern to make a blue ringed octopus, because blue ringed octopus are kind of pretty scary, even though they're really tiny. They are one of the most poisonous creatures in the world, and they hide in rock pools. And they actually, fun fact, they are found down where my parents live. Very terrifying. Much like this yarn. It was at this moment that I was absolutely questioning my life's choices. And I really hope that you appreciate every moment of your life that does not include this yarn. I mean, I truly do enjoy a challenge, but this was not it. Oh my god. Right, I'm using an 8mm hook, but I'm wondering whether maybe I need to go up still. It's just getting caught every stitch so far, but maybe once I keep going, it'll get easier. It did not, in fact, get easier. If anything, it got harder. Now, I'm not trying to do any fancy kind of stitch here. I am trying to do a single crochet stitch. That's all. But for some reason, this yarn was not interested in complying with what I was trying to do. That was one stitch. That one stitch. I don't even know how much time it took me. Wow. Oh, man. I think you'll be able to appreciate that I was very tempted to just throw this entire thing in the bin. Hook, yarn, everything. It's very stiff material. It's going to be really weird to make a plushie out of this. Maybe I size up. Okay, I have sized up my hook. I am now using a 9mm, and it's also a metal hook, which makes definitely a bunch of difference. I have also decided to use a yarn over technique. Usually I yarn under when I'm creating toys. When you yarn over, it does make it slightly tighter, so I'm feeling there's a little bit more movement in the material now. Not much. It's clearly not designed to make toys, but you know me. I enjoy a challenge. So here's the money shot where you can see exactly what it's like to work with this yarn without actually having to work with it yourself. You can see I'm getting stuck everywhere. The yarn itself is really scritchy, but once I started to use the metal hook, things flowed a little bit better. In looking at the pattern, I have decided, given how massive this is working up, I will be adapting the pattern quite considerably, but it will still be based on Drew's pattern. I mean, it obviously crossed my mind, but as I'm working with this yarn, I'm like, what on earth would you ever actually make with this? Like, what possessed the yarn company to go, yeah, this is a really good idea. The colours are beautiful. But what could you actually make with this? If if it wasn't just for a gimmick on the internet. Shouldn't probably say that. I will also just say, I did weights yesterday, and I don't appreciate doing more weights on my supposed rest day. I am working up a sweat. Time for eyes. And with that, we're done. Blue ringed octopus, blue ringed ish, in this weird, what turned out to be extremely fuzzy yarn. My main takeaways: the yarn is really heavy. This is a stocky unit of a thing. Heavy on my arms too, like an absolute mammoth workout. You don't have to go to the gym if you're using this yarn. I really am not a fan of the fuzz, even though it kind of makes it look a little bit more evil. But I think I ingested and inhaled quite an amount of the fuzz. I still am in love with the colours. I think the colours are amazing. I used a metal hook, which definitely helped. I definitely went up a hook size. I will not be rushing back to use anything like this ever again. This is all that remains of it, which I was very happy to not have to think about losing yarn chicken. It's not soft by any means, but it looks extremely cute sitting up on my shelf. These crochet eyes I am in love with, so they will be going on to other things. I will be adding this to my restock, so you can adopt this cranky looking cutie. That is happening this Thursday at midday Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. This, along with a bunch of other toys, will be available. All in all, definitely not the worst, not up there with feather yarn, but I will not be making anything with this ever again.